Welcome back to Monster Hunter Rise. It's been a bit over a week, I think. I don't remember exactly, but a bit longer than maybe I had hoped. But either way, we are back now. We are back into the game. And the first thing you'll notice is something that I did mention. I forget which my video it was, but I mentioned, I think it was my last video, that I was going to try and effectively cut down on a lot of the fluff. So in Case of Monster Hunter, that is me running in between stuff, because you're not interested in seeing it, and I'm not interested in seeing it. Well, I guess I can't say that, but I'm pretty sure that no one really needs to see me sharpen my weapons, drink potions, eat rations, etc. Like, you don't care about it, and so I figured, what's really the point of showing that sort of stuff? Like, do you need to see it? So, either way, I have cut down a lot of it, which removed about 5 minutes from the video, which is probably about what I expected. I could probably cut down on a little bit more, so there may be another minute to 30 seconds that I could cut down on, and I will try and do that. Unless you really, really want to see that stuff, in which case I'm happy to leave it in, but I think shorter videos are a bit easier for me to do, because it means I'll usually have stuff to talk about. And in that case, let's move on to the main star, the big attraction, Lagombi. So Lagombi is basically Ice Bunny Arzuros. I forget, whatever. That's his name. And I'd say he was a very good choice to make after taking on Arzuros. He's pretty much like the go-to next monster you might want to fight, which is why I'm actually quite happy that I ended up picking him to do next, because he was actually quite easy. I will say that much. He's a lot better than Arzuros. Let me say, I actually do kind of like him quite a bit. I'd say I give him like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. He's likable. I enjoy fighting him. He has some similar moves. He has Arzuros' little back wiggle and then slide, but other than that, he's pretty much completely different. He's got these ice slide charges. He can throw snowballs. He has Arzuros' triple claw swipe. He has a little spinny move, and he also likes to roar a lot. And this, I think, might have been a bit of a mistake, because he he does it so much, and he leaves like one of his most vulnerable parts exposed while he does it. So, and unlike in World, like, I haven't noticed monsters stunning me with roars yet. Maybe I just haven't gotten to the monsters that are big enough to actually do that. But yeah, he doesn't really seem to. He seems to leave himself open during those times quite a lot. I guess I prefer monsters that give you like several smaller openings rather than like just a few really, really big, massive openings that you can very easily exploit, because it's kind of often you'll end up stunning him or staggering him a bit during those time periods, and then, oh boy, you can just get a massive combo off and just do a ton of damage. Like I said, I'm cutting down on the flab. Hopefully, this will be a better experience. But yeah, so he's the first monster of this playthrough that actually has elemental attacks. In this case, he has Ice Blight. So you see him throwing out these little snowballs and such. That's how he does his little ice damage. And Ice Blight actually does something slightly different in this game. I don't get hit by it in this run, but I later did a capture run where I did get hit with the Ice Blight. And basically what it does is, so it does the normal thing where I believe Ice Blights consume stamina, recover stamina twice as slowly. I believe that's what it is. I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it does something to your stamina to lower it, which is bad for me because dual blights per regular, obviously I need stamina for demon mode and whatnot. But yeah, there's his ground pound. He does a little weird roll forward there, which can catch you off guard until you get used to it, in which case it's actually kind of easy to exploit, because I'll talk about his break gold hearts later. But Ice Blight also prevents you from using your, wire bugs, which I think is actually kind of a neat addition. I actually kind of like it, because before that, Ice Blight was kind of a joke. Like, it did almost nothing. It's pretty easy to ignore, honestly. Especially if you weren't playing like a stamina-heavy class. If you're playing like a class that uses a lot of stamina, like I'd say Insect Clay, so, or I'd say Dual Blaze, you probably did care about it, but otherwise it was like, yeah, who cares? But yeah. So his breakable parts, like Arzuros, he only has one breakable part, that's his head, so I actually found that out later, but you'll see me trying to go through his head a bunch. He also throws out these little patches of snow, which I believe are similar to, if you remember, what was his name? Baroth from World. He did something similar with his little mud patches, and so Lagombi does something very similar here. He throws out little snow patches, which I'm pretty sure will slow you down if you stand on them, and have a chance of knocking you over. I believe that's what they do. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't really walked into them yet, but if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure I'm right here. That's what they're doing. That's what they're intended to do. So, I'd say, well, he's on the surface, he seems like he might be harder than Arzuros. He definitely felt way easier. This might just be because I'm a lot better at the game now, a lot more comfortable with the controls, etc., etc. Maybe he felt easier, but maybe he just actually is. I don't know. I think you can technically fight him before Arzuros, but yeah. Considering he has more complicated attacks, I might not recommend it. I'd say definitely do him second. Another thing I've noticed with him is he gets exhausted fairly easily. Like I saw him get, he tends to exhaust himself quite often. I think even more of an Arzuros. He doesn't seem to fall over as much though. Although, no, I think he falls over about the same. So, it definitely felt like he gets exhausted a lot. I guess that's because of all his charging and whatnot there. Back slap, that's back shove, which is very avoidable. And yeah, he was overall fairly easy, although there we go. There's, I believe that's Axomni, who I might be doing next. I'm not entirely sure. I might be doing Great Baggy next. I know there's a couple of 1-star monsters I want to do before I do. I think it's great. I'll do Great Izuchi as my first 2-star monster. Another thing I noticed is if you don't, for some reason I end up getting chucked off from here. I don't know if it's stamina or I'll look into that, but either way, get a pretty good hits on his head here. And yeah, just gonna wail on him a bit. I guess I can talk about the Frost Islands a bit, because I spent a large part of, like a couple hours yesterday, just exploring the various, my 2 currently unlocked regions, Frost Islands being one of them. It's a pretty interesting region. It's a lot different than what I'm used to, which is the Hoarfrost Reach. There's not as much like crystalline ice, I suppose, and it definitely feels like what they were going for, which is like a bunch of sort of rocky outcroppings with like snowy sort of landscapes on top, and then these waterways. You're finding out there's a big water cave, and there's more of an icy cave. It's in like this area 12, 11 for the water cave, and then area 2 for the icy cave. But a really cool part of it that I really like that they sort of kept from whatchamacallit, Hoarfrost Reach, which is the big, well, the one in this region is a lot bigger. They have an abandoned ship up in area 8, and I wish it was like more intact and you could explore it, but what we have there is already pretty neat. And yeah, I definitely think this. I think I like it about the same as the Shrine Forest, or Shrine Ruins, excuse me. But, yeah, I think I like it about the same. It's not really, I would say, all that special, but it is a pretty neat sort of little area. It definitely feels like sort of a, I guess a more coastal area, if you will. I get that impression. I guess from all, you can see the barnacles on the wall, sort of where I get that impression. But yeah, it's a neat little region. I've only really, Lagombi's pretty good. I've only done like a couple hunts in it, so we'll have to see how I like it. But yeah, there's Great Baggy, who I may be doing next. I'm not 100%. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I also want to talk about some other things just regarding the channel in general, mainly regarding other games that I might be interested in doing. The only other really games I'm really playing actively right now is, you may have seen I have a couple of Warframe videos out. I'm not entirely sure if I want to go full on Warframe. I'm not, at least right now, I'm not really feeling the game. Not like the way I used to, because there was a point during my gaming career where I was grinding that game just, I'll be honest, it was kind of an unhealthy amount of grinding. Like, I was playing like 6 hours a day, like several months straight. And that was probably a bit too much. Nowadays, I really only just log on and just do some daily stuff and then log back off again, because I'm just not really feeling the game. I have been playing a lot of Phantasy Star Online 2. I haven't been playing it as much as I think I would like to, and I still haven't finished the story, which, whatever, but Phantasy Star Online New Genesis is actually coming out soon, and I've considered doing content for it. I'm not entirely sure what I would record, like boss fights or just random stuff. I don't know what I would do with it, but I have thought about recording some stuff for it. I'm not, although we still have to wait for the game to come out, and I'm not entirely sure when it's going to come out. Supposedly, it's coming out this summer, but I am not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. Other games? So, I guess there's 2 Pokemon games I talked about. I do actually play quite a bit of Pokemon. Not as much as recent. I've sort of done everything I want to do in Sword and Shield, pretty much. Like, I've caught, like, 3/4 of the Pokemon. I haven't really done all the new stuff in the Crown Tundra yet. I've finished the story, done a bunch of stuff, you know. I've had my fill of the game. Maybe I'll come back to it, should the interest strike me once more, but right now I'm sort of done with them. I'm not sure how I feel about the Gen 4 remakes. They look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm one of the people who's like a bit more iffy on the graphics. Maybe it's a bit more of like, it looks like it might be a bit more of a in-progress thing, but apparently it's coming out like Q3 this year, so who knows what that's all about. The one thing I am definitely excited for is Pokemon, what is it called? Legends Arceus, or as I like to call it, Pokemon Ghost of Tsushima Shadows Die Twice. I think I can't even remember the funnier name of it, but it just escapes me at the moment. But that game looks very, very good. Like, I'm very excited for that thing, which hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good, but who knows. That one, I may record content for some of those games. I think those games are definitely like more content friendly in a sense than even Monster Hunter, where instead of just me talking over hunt footage, I can actually like record through the story, because, well, those games are more story focused than Monster Hunter, because I don't know anyone who plays Monster Hunter for the story. Like, it has some really interesting lore, it has a lot of interesting backgrounds. I forget who is it. I forget who the guy is who makes all those like monster lore videos where he talks about all the cool features, but forget his name. His name is, I used to watch him a ton, and I think I still do. I see him every now and then, but I forget his name. It's something gaming. It sounds kind of generic, but I may track him down and post him in the description later on, but maybe. I think you guys probably know who I'm talking about, so never mind. But yeah, his videos on the lore are pretty great. But yeah, so Pokemon, bit back to my original point, because boy do I love going on tangents. The Pokemon games are definitely more accommodating when it comes to recording content, because you can just record for the story, and I think I may do that for either one of those games, depending on how much I like them. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Yeah. So what other games am I excited about? Or do I play? Oh, I have been playing a bunch of Path of Exile recently. Probably a bit... No, I wouldn't say a bit too much, but I have been going against that game pretty hard. And apparently Path of Exile 2 is coming out, so that is also a game I may record content for, although, again, I don't know how well that'll fit my sort of current style of video. And as for videos, I am looking to make some improvements. So the first thing I thought about getting was trying to get like a nice border, changing up my thumbnails, because right now right now what I do for thumbnails is I go out after I hunt a monster, I go out into the wild and I look for them just wandering around the world, like in an expedition, basically. Then I get out my camera and I record a nice little shot of them, and then I, you know, basically just... Oh yeah, there's a side check which I didn't know he had, so there you go. New move. Then I sort of crop that down to YouTube, because it was a lot easier with the Monster Hunter Worlds, because they took like full screen shots, but what is it? Rise takes them in like this square format, so I have to sort of crop it down to fit YouTube's thumbnail aspect ratio, and which doesn't really matter because the thumbnails are already tiny, so who cares, right? And then after that, I then put, so I do, what I like to do is I like to pick a font that I think sort of fits the monster, and then sort of stack like 3 monster colors on top of each other. It creates this nice little effect. But that's sort of been my format for, I think, pretty much a while now, like almost a year at this point. And I thought about trying to add like a border. I'm not sure how what would look. I have to find like a pretty nice border, some sort of Monster Hunter themed border. I'm not 100% sure how that would work, but it's been something I've thought about. I've been like tried to find some like borders you can use like for commercial purposes for free, because that's how I use all my fonts. But yeah, you know, I don't really know how that's supposed to work. What else? Right, I was also thinking about trying to get like an intro of some sort. I'm not sure how I would do that, because I have dabbled in animation, but I haven't touched it in years, like close to 5 years at this point. In fact, more than 5 years at this point. I have not touched animation in a while. So I may try and look for like some sort of like a text effect sort of thing that I can use. Again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that, but it wouldn't be like a long intro like with music and full crazy like remember those 3D spinning animations a lot of YouTubers had back in the day. But it must be just like, have you ever seen something like Captain Sparkle's videos where he's like, it's just his logo, it pops up, it like flashes it for a second and then it goes away, and it doesn't like obstruct the view. It's just it's over and done with in like a couple seconds, and it doesn't really, it sort of is something you can easily slap on in front of the top of the video. And I'm gonna do something, I would probably do something similar to that if I had an intro. I might not do an intro. Plenty of people just don't have intros, and it doesn't seem to really affect them anyway. Something I thought might be cool. Something that I've thought about is basically the point. Yeah, the hunt is actually going to come to an end right here, because as you can see, he's got his nice little blue icon up here. And I ended up cutting out a whole... I actually thought he was going to try and go to sleep here, but he didn't, so I ended up sort of just awkwardly standing around for like about a minute, waiting for him to maybe go to sleep. So that's sort of, you know, this is why I'm cutting things out, so you don't have to just watch me sort of awkwardly stand in place for like 30 seconds while I figure out if he's going to go to sleep or not. I think I've sort of exhausted everything I really wanted to talk about, at least in this video. I am going to try and record some more Titanfall 2 content in the future, potentially. The last video did actually decently well, especially considering that Titanfall 2 is not really my main, I guess, the main sort of game series I'm focused on. So I may try and record some new stuff for that. I actually got comments on that one, although both of them were from bots advertising porn, so I have deleted them because they're almost certainly scams, and no scamming on my channel. Yeah. I should have thrown a kunai here at these things, but suddenly I just blowing myself up, which, yeah, I have to get used to. That's another thing I really need to get used to, the kunai system. I think that could definitely be very helpful, but I have yet to really fully adapt to it. So, you know, I get another little, nice little wyvern right over here. And again, I only get like the one wall smash here. I'm not sure why I'm not getting the... I'm not sure I'm just pressing a button wrong or what. I'm not... Yeah, that sort of... but whatever. Point is, we get damage a bunch. It's always good. And I think he's actually going to die here fairly soon, because we're right at the end. And... I know it kind of happens kind of suddenly, that's all I remember. But yeah, Lagombi, he was... Overall, I'd say he's a pretty nice monster to follow up Arzuros with. He's definitely a lot better. He's got... Like, he's very well telegraphed, like you always know what he's going to do. You know, there's no surprises with him. Yeah, I think my palette codes were bombing when he died. So there we go. Lagombi. Again, good monster. Like I said like 3 times now. Yeah, I think that'll just about does it. So tell me what you think of all the stuff. Intros, the thumbnail borders, especially the new style editing. I'm trying to cut down a lot of the flab. Hopefully, crossing my fingers. Well, actually not really. I think I think this is a change that I'm definitely going to keep because it's better for everyone. It's just less stuff for me to have to commentate over and reduces my rambling a bit, but that's my point, and less junk that you have to see, like, you see all the fighting and all that cool stuff, and all the monsters doing their attacks, and that's always fun. But yeah, I think, how close are we to the end here? Alright, yeah, I think that'll just about do it for this video, so tell me what you think in the comments, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new to the channel and you like to see more content like this, and yeah, I will hopefully see you in, I'm not sure what game it will be, but hopefully I will be seeing you very soon, because I have some free time before exams, and I'm going to make the most of it. So, farewell for now. See you next time.